Hey, what's up, guys? I'm going to introduce you to a new idea of mine. This opening for black against e4. Introducing the Kraken. What we need today is to learn to play something that puts the game on our territory. So we don't want to have to play openings where the opponent knows 20 moves. We open, it looks like we're playing the Pierce defense here on move 1. Against e4, the opponent plays d4, and now we play knight f6. It's a normal Pierce defense. White plays knight to c3, and now he might be thinking black will either play g6, going to the Pierce. Black will play c6, maybe sometimes playing the so-called check defense, or of course black can play e5 or knight of bd7, going into some kind of Philidor, a sort of delayed or deferred Philidor. But what we're going to do is unleash the Kraken. We're going to play a6, and this is what I'm introducing to you as the Kraken. We'll have a lot of Kraken videos here. I think this is a very playable opening. Get your opponent out of book early. Now, it is possible to use different move orders, and we'll go over that in other games. I want to show you this one game. Typical example, I played against a master level player. This is played in rapid chess, 7+5. So we've got a6. White plays bishop d3 now. And this move here, this bishop, ironically, what I call an octopus, it's blocked by its own pawns. We've got e5. Now it's a Kraken sort of Philidor hybrid with e5. White plays knight f3, knight c6, takes, and I think this is a mistake. White giving up the central advantage. D takes e5. And I think here we've equalized already. And a6 is a very useful move. The reason why I call it the Kraken is because we are playing a6 instead of g6 or c6. And it does resemble the tentacles, I think. It gives it that flavor of a sea creature, like a Loch Ness Monster of sorts with a6. So I like it a lot. I've been using this a lot. White plays bishop d3 in this game, and we've got knight f3, knight c6, giving up the center. Of course, d5 can't really be supported by c4 with the knight on c3. So he exchanges, and we get interesting game. After queen e2, and I'll show you another game like this soon. Queen e2, it looks to me like White wants to think about castling long. So bishop e6, now White's a3. Keeping it on knight b4, bishop b4. Now I played bishop c5, getting to the active diagonal here, bishop e3. And this is a positional advantage for black. I think we're seeing an exchange of our dark square bishop for White's good bishop, our bad bishop for his good bishop. More than equal, takes, queen takes, and now black starts to take over the dark squares. The Kraken rises. The computer has this position at equal, at 0.0. I'd still rather be black because of the superior bishop, and then he goes out here on a4. Idea of knight c5, so I'm ready. We go to the open file, and the bishop will come back to c8. Knight c5, you're going nowhere. Bishop c8, castles queenside, that was the plan with queen e2. Castles kingside, and now g4, attacking the Kraken. But the Kraken is up to the task. The Kraken can defend itself with all sorts of resources. Knight h7 now, stopping g5, rook hg1, and now knight to g5. The Kraken is fluid, the Kraken is fast, and most importantly, the Kraken is slippery, so slipping away. Knight b3, retreating for no reason. Now b6, taking away the c5 square. We've got h4 and then knight e6, and we're guarding these dark squares. White has a little bit of attack with g5, but if you look at the time, my opponent has 12 seconds. I have 2 minutes left. There is an increment here, and you have to remember when it's a fast game with increment, you cannot absolutely play for time. It's very important. Increment is very different from sudden death. So knight f4, h5. White continues to attack. Rook d6, and this guards any kind of advances here. Bishop e2, trade, and now notice the knight is hanging. So he has to take back with the king or the bishop. Queen f6. Again, focusing primarily on the dark squares for black. This bishop is better than this bishop on d1. Rook d8, knight d2, king f8, slipping away again the Kraken. So bishop g4, and I'll show you how this finishes up. White now allowing black to penetrate in, winning a pawn, winning control of the open file, active pieces for black, and then finally a mistake here, queen h3, g6, and now a blunder, knight to c4. And you see the whole back rank is weak. And we've got access to f2. And white really has no threats. So we're just winning after queen takes f2, breaking in, and white has nothing. e5's guarded, the queen has no threats here, the rook is obstructing his queen. He's not coordinated, and the Kraken is always coordinated. King b1, he tries to run away, but the Kraken will get you. Rook d1 check, king a2, queen f1. And here I was offering a trade of queens. I was satisfied with 2 pawns up and an ending. For example, queen takes queen, rook takes queen. This should be an easy win. I have 3 pawns against 1 on the king side. So I thought this would be a quick introduction to the Kraken. Queen f1. White avoids the exchange of queens. I thought this was the best move objectively. It's not mate because he has the knight protecting a1. And then knight d4 I used to draw this knight, this defender, away from the a1 square. We have knight takes d4, e takes d4, hitting his queen, check, and then again the Kraken just always slips away into the deep sea. King g7, knight e5, and then queen f6, threatening over here. I'm also threatening his knight. His king is on the diagonal. He's running out of squares. And then after knight d3, he simply dropped a rook. Queen e6 check, and gave it up after b3, queen takes rook. This was our first Kraken video. I hope you will take a crack at it, so to speak. Thanks, everybody.